Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're already a subscriber. Happy Revenge of the 6th, everybody. So I did relatively get my crap together and was able to put together a second layout for Star Wars week, as it were. Obviously, May the 4th is pretty well known, and there is a little bit of a debacle from what I can understand, whether it's Revenge of the 5th or 6th. Okay, look, I'm not here to argue semantics or anything like that, or whatever it is that I'm supposed to argue, but in my world, 6th is closer to Sith than 5th. Let me know. Are you team 5th or team 6th? Gotta know. Inquiring minds. But regardless, I celebrate on the 6th. Today is a super packed out day in so many ways. So today is also the coronation day for King Charles III. So I got up at the crack of dawn. Yes, I am doing the voiceover day of posting. Color us all shocked, running it down to the wire. I endeavor to not be like this. But anyways, so the coronation's today. Archie's birthday was actually today, but that's a whole separate thing. Drama. But also Jeff's friend Mike's birthday is today, and it's also International Scrapbook Day. So fully packed out day. It's been a really busy week, I feel like, with so much going on as well. So let's get into the spread. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-apologize because when I prepped these layouts, I really challenged myself to dive into my stash and grab some things that have been hanging out in there for a while that I really love, but just don't actually use. And one of them was the background paper, or the main paper, with those super pretty flowers on it. And I just thought how absolutely lovely it would look against that like sweater, the blue in the sweater. It was pretty bright and dead on, so I really wanted to highlight that. Another thing, I'm not a big fan, and you'll see it come together on the spread, but overall, I have those little pops of red that are gonna pop in to tie back into the undershirt that I chose to wear. Before I get too much further into product, I do want to talk about what the actual spread is about. So back in March, I participated in the month-long Disneybound challenge. I think I've talked about this in planner videos that have already posted at this point. So if you've been hanging out for a little while, then you're not going to be super new to that. But basically, I decided to participate in this month-long challenge. It was the first time I've ever done it. I have participated in Bounding with Pride and have full intention to do so again when it comes back in June. And I'm super excited. I think Disneybounding is such a really great expression of creativity, and it's a really fun avenue of fandom, and it's kind of nice, especially if you're someone like me who doesn't get to go to the parks but once a year, and there are a lot of people out there that don't even get that luxury. So I feel really blessed that I have made visiting not all the parks, but at least taking a trip to Orlando every year a priority. And Binks is also hanging out with me, so if you hear any weird noises, that might be her. I'm just going to try to get her to quietly snuggle. But what are you going to do with the kids? So I really think that Disneybounding has brought me a lot of joy and connected me with a lot of amazing people. And I'm super grateful to have that creative outlet in my life for when I don't necessarily have the time to be creative with pen and paper. It's always kind of like a more physical way to do creativity, appearance-wise. Anyways, so this particular prompt, you'll notice when I do that journaling card up in the top left, I date stamp it for March the 3rd and for March the 7th because I prepped the bound on March the 3rd. So the photos were actually taken on March the 3rd, but the prompt was posted on the 7th. I don't even remember the particular prompt now looking back. It might be, I think it was In a Galaxy Far Away. Oh my goodness, Binks is going to try to climb up into the most weird place in my closet as I watch her. Why are we doing this? Gracious me. Okay, struggles of being a parent and trying to do a voiceover at the same time. Are we all together? Okay, I think she's good. I think she's out of the closet. But I decided to do Ahsoka Tano because I had been thinking about bounding as her for a while, and I really didn't know where she was going to fit into the mix if I decided to like wait and do her with Bounding with Pride. And there were kind of a couple prompts that I could turn into Star Wars prompts in the month of March, because you get a big long list of ideas and prompts and things like that. All in all, I was super happy that I did it. I knew a good bit about her character, but I really hadn't done like quite an extensive deep dive until shortly before the challenges began. And I've always been fascinated with the fact that she was Anakin's Padawan and the struggle that she went through as he transitioned to the dark side. And I can just only imagine what she went through and then being framed. And like, there's all this backstory with her. And so I just have a lot of respect for how complex she is. And I kind of journaled to that effect, just saying how exciting it was to do like such a complex character. I feel like I've done some really fun characters, but this was definitely one of my top favorites. And I did also get to do Padme in March, which was a long time coming. And I have full intentions to do more Padme and Amidala bounds, because Padme/Amidala is probably one of my favorite characters of all time. It might even trump Princess Leia. I'm really sorry. And I think that's just because I grew up idolizing Padme, and we're off on a tangent completely. But let me know what your favorite Star Wars character is. I'm really curious too, if you're, where my nerd's at. But that's basically what's happening in this spread, is me bounding as Ahsoka Tano. And obviously I take about 6 billion in one pictures trying to get the photo that I'm going to take, edit, and put to a background and all of that jazz. And I think I actually ended up layering it over top of a photo I took of when you walk into Rise of the Resistance, and it's that entire like wall-to-wall stormtrooper shot that I feel like everybody's probably seen at this point. But obviously, like, I think I took a selfie from one angle, and I kind of edited the photo to take my old selfie out, put this selfie in, and it looked okay. I definitely could critique it and have made it better, but these were kind of the behind the scenes shots. These were, the shots that get layered, as it were. I take most of these pictures like on my patio or around my apartment property if I'm not dressed too outlandish, just so I can get good outdoor lighting, and then I edit from there. But now we'll get into product. So like I said, I dived into my stash. I felt pretty confident that I knew what brand that background paper came from. I do know it's American Crafts, and I do know that I bought it as an open stock, but I kind of think it might be Vicky Boutin. It's either that or it's the Pink Paisley brand. It's one of those two, because I remember being really like, wow, okay, I didn't know that I had that from that company. That's why I'm kind of leaning toward it probably being like an older Vicky Boutin. But again, I could be really wrong. It does definitely have that like pink paisley look to it, so I'm leaning towards that though. The paper that I choose to put on the end is definitely Amy Tangerine. It was just a remnant of a scrap that I had, and again, I was just trying to be really good about using my supplies through this, and I do tend to be very matchy, so I don't always get to use my scraps to the best of their abilities or my own. Next, and just to be clear, this originally was going to be 2 pictures, and I had an entirely different sketch mocked up that I had, again, scrap lifted from Chamel, and lo and behold, I just kind of started, and I was like, oh, this will be so cute as a grid, and I've really been wanting to do more grid layouts in a 12 by 12 sense. And I definitely look forward to incorporating that more. I feel like it's a lot easier for me to do a grid that's layered up, because it's kind of like doing pocket pages, but a little bit more freedom. So I really enjoyed how this came together. So once I backed all the photos to white and kind of decided where I wanted my filler cards to be, I backed everything with this blue and navy grid. I think That is from a Vicky Bouton paper pad. I think I got those at Tuesday morning. It's just super simple and clean. I do know that the kind of yellow orange that I did end up going with and backing everything to is a Vicky Bouton and from one of the older paper pads. So these are before the project pads came out, and like I said, I'm pretty sure I picked it up from Tuesday morning, and I know that they've closed a ton of Tuesday mornings. It's super sad because the one that I felt like was the best one in the area was really close to my apartment and got really, really bad after COVID. I mean, I literally used to drive from across town when I lived on the other side of town before I lived over here just to go to that one. It was so good, and like you would find just the best stuff. And I built up a huge collection kind of in the haze right before the world shut down, and I really had a great collection. And I remember like I would come to dog sit for Jeff, and I would just get bags and bags and bags of stuff from Tuesday morning that was like older American craft collections. I have some of the coolest, oldest, never before seen washi tapes and things like that. So I'm super bummed that the stores aren't around anymore. Super disheartening. I know on screen you see me playing with all kinds of weird bits and pieces of ephemera. Those are all from the Solin Studios. I know that we talked about that in the May the 4th spread. You can check out those kits on lilypad.com. Also, the Force card came from that brand / person, content creator, not content, but well, I guess that's content. That creator, Solin Studios, SAHLIN Studios. And again, you can find her on lilypad.com if she's still hanging out over there. And I did opt to get not only like the kits that are just cards and papers, but I did opt to get like the embellishment kits because a lot of like what I said in the May 4th spread is going to apply to today as well. It's not always the easiest to find ephemera that kind of works with paper crafting. So when I see one that I even pretty well like the majority of, I'm going to go ahead and get it, and I'll just be creative with it as I use it. So I just kind of play with a lot of the pieces that I had already cut out. I knew that I wanted to kind of have pops of red where I could, and I did want to use a light side, dark side tab kind of put together because, again, talking about that struggle that Ahsoka is going to have of like, what do you do when the person who taught you everything has gone to the dark side? And how do you deal with that in so many ways? And again, you know, being framed, and there's a lot, and she actually has a really cool lightsaber story. And so I also wanted to include, I wish that the kit had one that like you could color in your own shade of lightsaber, because I definitely would have just like printed it and left it white, because later in the series, and you see this, I think in the book of Boba Fett, she's actually got white lightsabers at that point, but she does go through a couple different colors, and there's a big backstory, and there's really not that with anybody else of how that transition occurs. So I think it's super cool to kind of learn about just her lightsaber journey as well. So I wanted to make sure to include that. I was super nervous about incorporating that like green lightsaber in particular because obviously it doesn't go, and my OCD was like screaming. And so I thought maybe I would do like some enamel dots or something there at the end, but it actually ended up not being as abrasive to my eyes as I thought it was going to be. I really do enjoy how the spread came together. I always feel like I get super nervous when I get towards embellishments, especially like when I start getting to like glitter star territory. And again, this spread, like the May the 4th spread, has 0 glitter stars. Can you believe it, peeps? Not only am I back doing paper crafting, I have left my glitter stars behind, at least for now. They'll totally come back because I love them. But I really enjoyed what I chose to do as far as embellishments, and we'll talk about those little details here in a bit. You're also going to see those paper strips that look like washi kind of come back, and I think that layered with some of that polka dot washi helped kind of bring back in. I feel like the polka dots kind of like brought it back down a little bit to that playful schoolgirl kind of vibe that I was going for with this particular bound by having kind of the collared shirt and the collegiate sweater thing, not collegiate, but the whole sweater vest thing. I really felt like that was like a cute way to like bring it back down a little bit. Which was nice. And then, funny enough, I have been trying to get rid of that polka dot washi because of the washi card that I have it on, which if anybody's wondering where I got that, it was actually part of the Jane Davenport travel journal series that she did years ago, and I bought a good bit of them for my Etsy shop so that whenever I made journals, I like would put corresponding washi on them. And so I love having that in my planner, mainly so that whenever I do have time to Hobonichi 5-year, I just kind of peek in there and try to use what washi I have. And it's taken me freaking ages because I am famous for, I'm going to make a kit and then I'm going to ignore it. So then I pulled out this really cool chipboard set from Vicky Boutin, and then the one that just made like a quick appearance happened to be one that was hanging out in my stash from Amy Tangerine. And I really didn't know what I wanted to go with because, again, I very much like the May the 4th spread. I did not want to incorporate like glitter or metallic or anything like that. I really wanted to challenge myself to not have a metallic of any kind, and those were a little bit too holographic as well, and I felt like it was gonna distract. And so there wasn't very much on the kit that I could use. I really thought I was going to use that 7 because it was the 7th prompt there for a while. I do end up picking out a little chipboard piece that says notes that's going to go in the top left corner. And then the "we were made for this" is going to go on the bottom right hand corner. And I feel like that balanced really nice. And then I did bump up the green lightsaber on some foam in that top right, and then I bumped up the Find Your Force circle on that bottom left. So I felt pretty balanced about everything. And then I dove into my Amy Tangerine sticker book. Again, this was one of those things that I picked up along one of my Tuesday morning journeys. I know that they were in Joann's for a while, and I think I might have I know for a fact I ordered the second release that any of the artists that participated when they made a new batch of sticker books, like Maggie Holmes, I think did one. I know Jen Hadfield did, and I didn't grab that one. I know I got Pink Paisley, both editions, as the collections came out. It was super cool to have all of them. And then I picked out some second ones, some extras along the way, because I do really love those sticker books, because typically the sticker book corresponds with collections that artist has done. So it makes it a lot easier when you're working with a particular collection to be like, oh, okay, cool, these stickers match that dead on. But like I said, I pulled it out to kind of dive through the stash because I obviously had a lot of Amy Tangerine stuff going on already, but it was also definitely that color palette. When I saw that black March sticker, I thought, oh my God, I can't not use this because it's plain black. It'll help balance this spread. This happened in March. Run it. I really challenged myself in this particular spread to, again, get through some supplies and not hoard things necessarily or say, oh, well, that'd be so much better on another spread. I really challenged myself to be more like, is this applicable here? Okay, cool. Does it color match? Okay, cool. Let's keep it moving. I really just wanted to to definitely reference Inky Quill, just stick and plonk. Like, it's okay. And I get really, really nervous with making sure that things look aesthetically pleasing, but that they look very balanced. And that's just like, I will have like an internal gut, like, wrenching effect that happens if things aren't super balanced or if I feel like I've gone just a touch over. And I really do feel like this ended well. You're going to see me play with lots of different heart placement. And I do feel like my little clusters, I ended up doing like a diagonal in a weird way. but each cluster has like a yellow, a blue, and a black element. And I really like how they turned out. And then, of course, I actually did some stitch borders on the larger hearts and on 2 of the cards. And I really feel like that helped balance things out quite a bit too and add some texture. I used to love to like rip the paper or add doilies, and I've done that. But again, I'm really just trying to get back in the swing of things. So doing the layers and just kind of getting my sea legs about me again has been more of my priority. But as we kind of reach the end of this video and wrap up, I hope that you all had an amazing week. I hope you guys enjoyed the bonus content. And I sincerely hope that you had a happy, healthy May the 4th, Revenge of the 6th, and Cinco de Mayo if you participated. Again, don't forget to let me know what your favorite Star Wars character are. Do you guys enjoy the paper crafting videos are back, or are you just like, meh, give me all the planner goodness? I love getting you guys' feedback. And I am looking forward to June live streams. I started connecting with some more people lately, and I'm just super excited to keep growing this community with you guys and building this little wonderland that we've got going on. So again, I can't thank you enough for all of the support that you give. I just beam every single time I get an alert that there's a new subscriber, or I get a new message from somebody, or I know that I've helped someone on their creative journey. It makes me so happy. So thank you guys all for hanging out. And until next time, enjoy creating your own wonderlands, and may the force be with you all. Bye, everybody.